Hello everyone, let's look at November 10th energy patterns. I prepared a few drawings for you so that you can follow what I'm saying. And the first one is interesting because it is a complex planetary picture and it does contain a lopsided lame trapeze right here, involving Mars, Mercury in Scorpio, quincunx in Ceres, retrograde Ceres in Gemini, the Chiron Lilith conjunction, retrograde conjunction in Aries, and Astraea in Capricorn. But you don't have one of the sides. One of the sextiles is too wide. As you know, sextiles have a 3-degree orb in karmic astrology, but any configuration only has a 2-degree orb. So we must take very, very tight orbs in order that the energy is not leaking out of the configuration. So you don't have this one, but we do have another trapeze right here, which is a very peculiar one because it, as a base, it has a quincunx. The sides are squares, a mutable square between Ceres and Pallas Athena, and a fixed square between Mercury Mars conjunction in Scorpio and Moon Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. And the top is this very, very tiny semi-sextile. So it's a difficult, it's on the one hand, it's a difficult trapeze because the sides are squares, so it will be difficult to reach the top. But at the same time, the top is very, very small, so you don't really have a large audience for the things that you would like to perform about. But the insides are 2 trines which provide blessings and harmony. Now, let's take this little configuration apart, and then we are going to look at some of the other participants of November the 10th. Mars Mercury is usually about assertive communication, or it's about how to exercise the will verbally, or how to express your thoughts in a very aggressive, assertive, willful way. If it's a square or an opposition, I usually translate it in a way that you may be wounded, or you may be the wounder, the one who is causing wounds through your words. Wounding or being wounded through words. That's usually Mars Mercury. This is a conjunction, so here you really blend the energies, and you can actually do it quite well. But it still could be painful. So just make sure you are watching your words on the 10th and even the next day, because the conjunction will still be within orb by the 11th. And in the meanwhile, Ceres is still retrograding in Gemini, and this means that these wounding words or assertive communication will be linked to the family or to nurturing of family members. Then one square, as I mentioned, is the conjunction of Mars Mercury to the Moon Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. Saturn Moon is usually described as some sort of a soul who is very sure about himself, who is going to be very strong, and at the same time, Saturn Moon is also about depression. Many times, even the conjunction, even at early age, that's why I was like trying to find words, because I don't want to be too strong. I don't want to use language that is hindering your development instead of helping you, because astrology is there to help everyone to come out of debilitating and negative traits. But at the same time, Saturn Moon is usually a debilitating aspect in itself. It's very hard to translate it in a nice way. Of course, Saturn is boundaries, borderlines. It's about tasks and duties and how you accomplish duties. So you could translate Saturn moon as a dutiful soul, someone who takes life's lessons very seriously. But at the same time, those people, okay, are prone to depression. And so Saturn moon can often cause depression, or these people are in many sense doomy and gloomy and very difficult to lighten up. And the square, if you think about it, this is a fourfold square, okay? Because you first have, let's start with Moon Mercury. This could be a clash between mother and son, or mother and child. Or it could also be a clash between your words and how you feel. And then Saturn Mars is the typical aspect of impotence, the inability to act, the inability to express your own will. And Saturn Mercury is about not being able to express your thoughts. So, and then of course, Moon Mars is about hysterics. Those who have Moon and Moon Mars aspects are usually prone to being hysterical. So this is a very heavy combination, and this fourfold square energy can cause a lot of tension in your life. Plus, it's in a fixed signs, so actually nothing is going to be resolved, no matter what you actually put into it. The other square is easier at a first glance because it's between Ceres and Pallas Athena, but Ceres and Pallas Athena by themselves are very disruptive and mutually exclusive archetypes, because Ceres is the nurturing principle, while Pallas Athena is the single woman, the wise girl, someone who doesn't need anyone, who is, the motherless child archetype, who doesn't really need anyone, the father's daughter archetype. And when they clash, well, they are clashing in their principles anyway, because one is for their offspring and the other one is for herself. But here in this mutable square, it really gives you the idea of whether or not you should accept the duties of family or just be on your own. But the interesting thing is that Ceres is an archetype that is more linked to water and earth, while Pallas Athena is more an archetype that is linked to air. And here you have the air energy in a water sign and the water energy in an air sign. So actually the square, since it's mutable, it's not that hard. It actually gives you to take a look at both sides of the picture. And then we have this very, very tiny angel wing. This is the tiniest of the configurations. That's the sextile between Saturn, Moon, and Chiron, Lilith. And at the apex, there's Pallas Athena. So Chiron Lilith is about wounds around self-assertion, wars, fights, aggression, violence, fire, whatever. And then Lilith, the asteroid Lilith, is about revolt against injustice. So that's today. Oh, I didn't mention there's another, the third quincunx, because those two are also quincunx in Mars, Mercury, but there's also a quincunx, a bidirectional quincunx between Ceres and Astrea. And Astrea is the karma breaker. So the hope that you can actually turn the energy pattern to your own benefit is related to Astrea. If you are able to break whatever old embedded karma there is for you not to be able to move around, okay, then you can actually purvey. Let's look at the other drawing. It's actually not really a full, this is not it, sorry. Why am I doing this? Okay, this is what I want to show you. Okay, perfect. The reason why I prepared this, because as you can see, you have a number of aspects, but they are not really forming into configurations except one. And this is a quindacile arrow, if you can see that. A quindacile is 165 degrees. It is about obsession and ambition, obsession in the negative way or ambition in the positive way. If you are interested in the aspect, Ricky Reeves, American astrologer, wrote a whole book on it. It's called The Quindacile. It's a very brilliant book because it shows the aspect in case studies. And she says, Ricky Reeves states that that each and every really great person or successful person has this aspect in a prominent way in his or her chart. So that's the quindacile arrow involving Vesta in Scorpio, Juno in Sagittarius, and Black Moon Lilith in Gemini. So at the apex is Black Moon, which is the third turning point of the Lilith myths, when Lilith goes back into paradise and gives the apple to Eve. So the gesture of understanding the feminine and helping her in coming from another feminine who was actually banished and who left the Garden of Eden. That's why we say that Black Moon Lilith symbolizes some sort of positive perseverance, stamina, and the will to do what's right, but also clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, because Lilith somehow got wind of the fact that there's the new wife in Eden, Eve. So that's why, and how could she do that? Okay, there was no CNN to report it. So she must have understood the signs and she acted upon the signs. So that's what it means. Okay, and we also have a Jupiter-Vesta square. It's not really closing into a T-square because we do have a Vesta-Sedna opposition that is quite exact. It's actually becoming tighter in the upcoming days. And but it's not a T-square because Jupiter is only at 24, 23, 24 degrees. So we still have some distance to cover before this is going to be exact. In a couple of days, it will be exact. Vesta Jupiter is about the high priest and the high priestess. And the square is a clash between the two energies. And Vesta and Sedna is about focusing on what needs to be rearranged, what needs to be redone in your life, that needs to be taken apart completely and then reassembled in a meaningful, workable way. And we also have a Neptune's Sun trine. Neptune is retrograding in its own sign, Pisces. It's where it's the strongest. So by itself, it provides us clear insight and all sorts of transcendental experiences. But the Sun in Scorpio is also about clairvoyance, about understanding what is deep down there and uncovering the secrets. Neptune Sun aspects are usually about clairvoyance, about seeing clearly what is going on, about having a very clear premonition of what is going to happen. And the trine is reinforcing this idea. So these are the energy patterns for November the 10th. Use it wisely, use it for your own self. You can actually use these placements in any way. Once you know they are there, once you are aware of them being there, you can utilize them for your own sake. Of course, if you know your own placements and you know how to look at transits, then you can see whether anything is being triggered in your own chart. That is always more prominent. It's always it has a stronger impact. But I want you to know that these things are out there for you to utilize, and go ahead and try them. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.